Hey guys, this is Jonathan, Mudbug Mini Trucks of Texas. I want to take a few minutes and answer a few questions and clear up a few things that people are confused about with these vehicles. These are imported from Japan. These particular models that you'll see we bring in are vehicles that are that won't pass emissions test in Japan. It's very high there because of the smog issue. A lot of times the taxation of the vehicle becomes too high, and therefore the vehicle is sold at auction. And us as importers, this is where we come in to buy these vehicles and bring them to the United States and make them useful on ranches and hunting clubs and landscapers and golfers and construction sites, pipeline workers, multiple uses. We've sold quite a few of these over the years. Just recently here, EPA has cracked down on us, made it really difficult to bring these trucks in, but we've been licensed now to bring them in, and they're back on the market. But there was a few things that I wanted to cover with you guys as far as pros and cons of owning a mini truck versus another ATV or side-by-side, a utility vehicle. And I went right to the websites of these particular competitors and took these particular things right off their website, and I wanted to share a few of those with you. I did the John Deere, the Polaris Ranger. We did the Kawasaki Mule and the Kubota side-by-side utility vehicles. As far as engine size, they're all pretty comparable. A mini truck has a 660 cc engine. They do range. The older models in the 80s will have a 550 cc, and the larger, or the newer models rather, will have 1,000 cc fuel-injected engines. From 99 on up, you'll see that these particular models are fuel-injected, where the older models from 98 down are carbureted, just so we clear the air on some of that. As far as comparison, these little trucks will actually push out 45 horsepower compared to the John Deere, which is John Deere offers a 24.7 horsepower at a 617 cc engine. The Polaris Ranger, their 500 cc engine, which is the closest one without going over our comparison, offers a 30 horsepower engine. The Kawasaki Mule offers a 24.7 engine, and again, this is the 401 cc engine. This is the closest I can find without going into the 800 range of Kawasaki, so it's kind of where they stop at. And of course, the Kubota has an 898 cc engine with a 21.6 horsepower motor. Also, I wanted to go ahead and show some of these things too, like the engines here. These are 3-cylinder engines. The John Deere offers a 2-cylinder engine. The Polaris Ranger is a 1-cylinder engine. Again, the Kawasaki is a 2-cylinder engine, and the Kubota is a 3-cylinder engine. And I'd imagine, if you know anything about automobiles, the more cylinders, obviously the more strength you have, and it typically will last a lot longer. All of them will come with various automatics or manual transmissions. So that's pretty much the range there. These vehicles are capable of reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour, these particular models. The John Deere comes in at 25 miles an hour. The Polaris Ranger comes in at 40 miles an hour. The Kawasaki Mule comes in at 25, and the Kubota comes in at 25 miles an hour. So you can see there's an advantage to having the truck, at least in this regard, to over the other competitors. Let's see what else we got here. Most of the trucks that we have offer a 4 or 5 speed transmission. Also have all the high and low, the low gears. The John Deere offers a high and low range. The Polaris Ranger offers what's called an auto PVT. And then of course the other two offer the same high and low range. So again, very competitive. The length of the automobiles, this one here comes in at about 130 inches, and again we have various models, so they'll range in length. But you'll see that the John Deere comes at 113 inches, the Ranger comes in at 113, the Kawasaki Mule comes in at 112 and a half, and the Kubota comes in at 116.7. Let's see what else we got. The wheelbase. I think that's pretty important. We have a 95-inch wheelbase, and again, vary models. The models will vary in length, but we have a 95-inch wheelbase. The John Deere has a 75.2. The Polaris Ranger has a 76. The Kawasaki has a 73.6, and the Kubota comes in at 77.4 inches. And again, you can kind of see you get just a little bit more for your money with the trucks. And I don't want to sound biased to the trucks because I'm in the business, but I've owned at least I've owned 3 out of 4. I've never owned a Kubota, quite frankly. I have had the John Deere, I've had the Polaris Ranger, and the Kawasaki Mule, all great vehicles. But I think as far as the usefulness out of the trucks, I just get so much more use. It just doesn't make sense, to go. To buy a vehicle that costs what these things cost, and then have to add all these components. I'm going further down, and I'm going to read a little bit more. The towing capacity for the truck, and this is the tow capacity, is about 1,500 pounds. The tow capacity for the John Deere is about 1,300 pounds. The Polaris is also 1,500 pounds. The Kawasaki Mule is at 1,430. And the Kubota is at 1630. The payload for the trucks, and again, these things will vary. You have various models. Behind me, you'll see I have a minivan, but I also have what's called deck van, which is a half van and half pickup, and also have the pickup trucks you guys are familiar with. I have several posted on various sites. So let me see if there's a few more things I wanted to weigh in on. One of them is the cargo bed. Now, this is a real advantage. No matter what I say, you just can't deny this. The length of the box on the pickup truck is 76 inches, and it's 52 inches wide. The box on the back of a John Deere is 43.9 inches and 49 inches wide. The bed on the Polaris Ranger is 54 inches long and 36.5 inches wide. The Kawasaki Mule offers a 46.3 inch by 54.6 inches. And then last is the Kubota, which is at 46.7 inches and 52 inches wide. The bed depth, you get 11 inches deep on the pickup trucks. You get 9 on the John Deere. You get 11.5 on the Ranger. You get 11.3 on the Mule, and you'll get 11.4 on the Kubota. Now, I think one of the biggest things you're going to find that goes on here, one of the biggest sale points for me, and maybe for you, unless some people don't have a budget. That's great. As a working man, I have a budget. I can't just go out and buy, things that are unreasonable, or I just don't have expendable money just to blow out the window. So if I can find a better bargain at a better product at a better price, it only makes sense. So again, these are right off the website, guys. I'm not making these numbers up. You can go check with all these here, all these particular models, and I took the one that was closest to the comparable models of a truck. Now again, there's 800 cc's and 1000 cc's out there in all these models, including the trucks. But this is the one I thought, this is where the basis starts. So this is the 617 cc John Deere. It's the 499 cc Polaris Ranger. It's the 401 cc Kawasaki Mule, and it's the 898 cc Kubota. Okay, so these are the ones. These are the bases this is the closest I can find in comparison. One thing that there is no comparison to, and this is the prices. A base model, which you'll see is a plain white pickup truck that I'll offer. The base model is going to start at $6,500. This would range, and typically these are fuel injected. I have various models, but this is a truck that offers you things like automatic transmissions or standard transmissions with 5-speed and a high-low gear. It offers air conditioning and heat. Majority of them offer you power steering. Of course, you get blinkers and headlights and windshield wipers. It's just so many features you get. You get everything that you might have in your pickup truck. These particular little trucks offer, this is their main driver in Japan. This is their #1 selling truck in Japan for the last 6 years. The price for a base model is $6,500, like I said a minute ago. The base model for a John Deere is at $10,700. And again, I'm not making this up. You can get these quotes off the internet, right off of your local John Deere. Now, I'm not going to say somebody might not run a special right now or something, I don't know, but this is the one I Googled, and I just looked at it, and then I just took the information from there, and I put it all into a sheet, and I compounded it all together, and I put them side by side so I can do a comparison for you. If you wanted to air the air conditioning and the heat and the other things to these particular models, the Kubota's, the John Deere is going to cost you $15,539. That's the offered comparative equipment to one of my mini trucks. The Ranger is going to start out, and this is the 499cc engine. It's going to start out at $10,299, and to add the cab and the air conditioning unit, you're going to be at $15,268. Okay. And then we go to the Kawasaki Mule. The base model for this is $9,400. And if you want to add cabs and things like this, and again, some of these don't even offer AC, just so you'll know, but the cab that I can find for it puts the truck at $13,549, puts that Kawasaki Mule. And then I have another one, guys, which is the last one, is the Kubota, and the Kubota is a really, really nice machine. I think it's probably one of the best machines out there. The base model for that one is going to start out at $10,239, and again, this is the smallest unit they offer, and to add the cab to it, you're looking at $14,275. Now, if you do, we started at $6,500 for a base model truck with all the fixings. If you were to compare it to, say, the Kubota, which is one of the highest ones out there, one of the highest priced ones out there. In fact, the John Deere is the highest priced one. You're looking at a third of the cost. Now, I know I get a lot of phone calls on the trucks that I have and say, hey, man, we'd sell one for $5,000. I mean, come on, guys, let's be real. If you have, if you were to buy a Ranger, would you go in there and say, hey, the Ranger's, $12,000, I'll give you $5,000 for it? And some of the things you're going to see, I understand that some other things I hand wrote on the back of my paper, some pros and cons for owning the trucks. And I can tell you one thing, that I really prefer the Ranger over all other models, and the reason being is because the Ranger has a 4-wheel independent suspension. The trucks do not offer that. The truck offers the same suspension that you have on your F-150 and Dodges and Chevys. It has the A-arm in the front with the shocks and the struts, and it has the spring in the back, just like your standard pickup truck here in America. The Ranger offers the 4-wheel independent suspension, which I really love having as the Ranger owner myself. So that's one of the perks I really, really like about the Ranger. But the Mule and all the other ones, they don't offer that either. Not in these models. Let's see what else we have. Something else I want to mention, guys. All the trucks that you'll see, all the machines that you'll see, is going to have an hour meter and a speedometer. And I'm going to tell you why they have that, guys, because all of them are designed that at a certain time, they're designed to go away, to break down. They only can go so much. These are toys. Let's be honest with one another. They're toys. My brothers both have them, and they sink them. They drive them underwater. They snorkel them, and you can't see none of their heads. I would never do that in any of my trucks. I don't have any desire to do that. I live in Texas. My brothers live down in New Orleans, and they do things different down there. But here in Texas, I use my truck for carrying 1,000 pounds of corn to my feeders. I use it to service my fences and things out on the ranch. It's a work truck, and it will still go and do anything I want it to do in 4-wheel drive. I have no issues. I've never had it stuck. I'm not saying it can't be stuck. I'm saying that I've never had it stuck, and I've gone through some pretty good stuff with it. And as far as its dependability, these trucks, I've seen them as high. Now, I've imported them as high as 280,000 kilometers, which is like 190,000 miles? It just doesn't make sense why you would buy something with an hour meter. Also, I get a lot of questions about parts, guys. Parts are readily available for any of the trucks, any years. Now, obviously, the older they get, the harder they are. Like early 80s, 81s, 82s, 83s, 85s, they're a little bit harder to get. But anything from, say, 1990 on up, all the parts are available here in America, 99% of them. If they're not available, I can get it directly from Japan. You'll see all the major brands, too. Things like Mitsubishi, Toyota, which is Hijet. You'll find that there's Nissan and there's Suzuki and Subaru. These are all the models. There's several, all major manufacturers that you might find overseas as far as foreign cars are making these trucks. Which brings me to another point, and I'm going to try not to keep you too long. The trucks that I bring in, I'm particularly fond of Suzuki's, Toyotas, and Mitsubishis. These trucks have the forward engine. That means you're sitting on top of the engine. And if you have a screwdriver and a metric socket set, you can take the whole truck apart. Just like this, guys. That's a full metal body. That truck is made out of full metal. The only plastic on it is minor things like blinker lenses in the front bumper. Compared to all the others, Polaris Rangers and the Mules and the Kubotas, all plastic. A majority of it is plastic. So you'll see when you hit trees and things, you tend to scar it and bust it all up, and then you got to replace the plastics. You don't have that problem here. It's a full metal body. As far as things like speed, guys, I think we've gone over that, so I won't go into that. Oh, ground clearance was something I wanted to mention to you guys, and this was something that I actually looked up too. The ground clearance on this truck. Now, a stock model is going to be 8 inches off the ground. That's a stock model. I can get these as high as, say, 14 after I lift them. The John Deere, the stock is 6 inches. The Polaris Ranger offers an 11 inches, and that's because of the AR, the flexible, the independent suspension. And then you have the Kawasaki Mule, which is off a 6.6, and the Kubota is the 8.3. So again, very, very similar as far as height comparison. But at any rate, guys, just wanted to do a little tutorial for you guys. I know I get so many questions, and I figured I might as well take a moment to do this. I've never turned the camera on myself, never turn the camera on myself to take any photos or anything like that. I always take pictures of my truck because, it's not about me, it's about what I do. These trucks are just phenomenal. And I took this particular van to the beach yesterday, and I couldn't go 50 feet without being stopped. Everybody wanted to drive it or get in it, or where'd you get it from? And I've given out a ton of business cards, so you might have seen me out there. And also, this particular model offers a sunroof, guys. You won't find it in any Kubota. You won't find it in any other utility vehicle, side by side. Okay, guys. Well, anyway, these trucks, the price on them is phenomenal, guys. If you can't afford one of these, guys, you should be looking into get maybe a four-wheeler or maybe an old Jeep or something that that has no wheels, no doors and things like that on it. Because the prices on these things are a steal. It just makes no sense. Take a look at my truck. Come drive one of them. See what you think about it. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. Go down to Polaris and price them. You can go to Bass Pro Shop. They got prices on their things. Anyway, I'm not going to hold you anymore because it turned out to be a much longer video than I anticipated. But I did want to take a moment to try to answer a few of the questions, and I hope I have. So if you have any questions, you can reach me at 832-951-5220. And you can also, I have a website up. It's mudbugminitrucks.com. And if you can follow us on the YouTube channel, every time I produce a truck, it'll give you that notification and let you know, hey, he's producing another truck. And also a Facebook page, we have that as well. You can follow us and like us there as well. And we have some more trucks coming out. I have 7 more coming in. The next truck up I think I'm going to put out is going to be a B-52 bomber. That's coming at you. If you guys have any suggestions, anything you'd like to say, I would love to hear it. Anything you could teach me, I want to hear. too proud to answer any questions or learn from anyone. I would love to hear anything. And if you're a truck dealer and you have information for me, I'd love to hear from you then too. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Y'all have a great one. Take care and hope to see you soon. MudbugMiniTrucks.com.